What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to another Division 2 installment. If you happen to be new to the channel, ground and pound that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so that way you know each and every time a new video is uploaded. But today's video we are going over pretty much a crash course for the upcoming open beta for Division 2. For those of you that was unfortunate enough not to be able to participate in the private beta, then this is mainly for you all. But also maybe some of these tips, tricks, and hints will steer those that did play the private beta but may have not experienced some of these things or do not know some of these things. But whatever the case may be, we are going to go over each and every little bit of detail that I think personally would benefit you when it comes time for the open beta. And those open beta dates are March the 1st through March the 4th. So if you were unfortunate enough not to participate in the private beta, then definitely get in and be prepared for the open beta. And this video will, I hope, help you get and be prepared for what lies ahead. So first things first, right off the bat, before going into the open beta, I know you will be psyched to finally get your hands on and be able to play a little bit of sneak peek of the upcoming release. And some things to kind of contemplate before going in is what kind of agent do you want to be? What kind of weapons are you planning on using or that you prefer? Or what guns are you anticipating on trying out, such as the new weapons that are in the Division 2, like the P90, the MPX. But the MPX is basically the house, just with not the card counter talent. And there are some SMGs, such as the AUG that was in Division 1, an SMG. But in Division 2, they have turned it into an assault rifle. It's little tricks and little things and tweaks that they've done, just like the FAL used to be a semi-auto, and in Division 2 it is actually a full auto. So that's one thing you might want to try out, the little tweaks and differences between the gunplay of Division 1 and Division 2. Secondly, if you do not already know, then each individual brand gear set is spec'd to either one type weapon, and then such as there'll be one branded to SMGs, one to ARs, one to LMGs, one to shotguns, one to rifles, and one to marksman rifles. So let's go over a few of those brand sets here so that way you can get a better understanding. Such as the Overlord Armaments, 7.5% armor percent bonus, 5% weapon damage, and 10% damage to elites. China Light Industries, 8% shotgun damage, 10% all resistance, 10% skill haste. And the R&K, because I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I'll just butcher it, 20% pistol damage, plus 15% shield skill power, plus 10% all resistance. And then of course the Rinaldi Holdings, I know I butchered that, 5% marksman rifle damage, 10% headshot damage, 10% accuracy. The Wyvernware, 7% crit hit damage, 5% headshot damage, and 10% crit hit chance. Moving on to the next few, Suckle of Concern, if you are wanting to spec out in such as, you know, the SMG variety, because that's what you're accustomed to in Division 1, so you want to stick to something that's familiar. Then you could go with this brand set that gives you 10% SMG damage, 8% crit hit damage, and 10% crit hit chance. And of course the Petrov Defense Group, 8% LMG damage, 10% turret skill power, and 10% skill haste. Now this particular gear set here that is on the screen, Providence Defense, that particular thing set is wrong, so I'm going to actually go over and show you what it really is. Now, as you can see, the proper talents for the brand set of Providence Defense is 10% skill power, 8% health, and 5% weapon damage. And just a quick crash course, I mean, you can see the full build videos. I have 2 of them on my channel here. And some people say, well, it's too early to have build videos. No, it's to give those an idea of more or less what you can expect to throw together and how things work more or less, and just an inside sneak peek on how builds are going to be built and consist of when it comes time for the full game to launch. But now that we have a private beta, then those also will give you a, I guess, a leg up and also a further crash course in understanding how builds work. But the basic gist of it, like I stated, if you just want to use one piece, such as the chess piece fares a B group, you get the 10% AR damage. And then you can use Providence Defense, the 3-piece of that, to get an additional 5%. And then as you see on most gloves, the talent or attributes on it will be also a base weapon damage buff along with that. Plus, as you see, further other talents on every other piece, such as the backpack where you get health, bonus armor, weapon damage. It could be additional crit chance. It could be additional crit damage, skill power. You know, the sky's the limit. It just depends on what you come across and what you can find. And speaking of the good gear, if you really want to get a leg up and hit the ground really hard and fast, and to get as much gear as what you can grab a hold of, then you need to know that, you know, space is limited in your backpack, but there is a way to kind of hoard as much stuff as possible by utilizing the stash space that you have either in the checkpoints of the DZ, the safe house that's in the light zone, or you can fast travel all the way back to the White House to use it there. But the things that you want to try, but you know you don't have, let's say you only have one piece and you want the 2 and 3 piece, and don't plan on using it anytime soon. Well, until you find the rest of those pieces, then just put them in the stash. And if you happen not to find, you know, a couple pieces, let's say they're green, for instance, and you come across, you know, some blue ones, so therefore you can get rid of it. But not necessarily, so keep in mind, whether it be green or blue, it's a normalized DZ. So be aware of what talents and what attributes actually accompany with that piece, because you might get some better attributes to that particular piece, and it'd be green versus the one you got in blue. It just all depends on your specs and what you're actually going for. So be sure to utilize that stash base. And how to get the most gear the fastest. I have played the private beta, and for those that didn't, but are going to be playing the open beta, I know you want to go around, look, and explore, but if you want to get your hands on the most gear and actually want to experience the exploring and more or less all the little nook and crannies of everything that's, you know, around in the light zone areas, then I can understand that. But if you want to get on and get the most out of it as possible when it comes to the PvP or even PvE things, when it comes to builds and what you can craft and throw together, you know, the excitement of that, I mean, that's what I was going for, then just, you know, don't spend too much time, you know, exploring in the light zone. Get to level 7 as fast as possible, and then, of course, especially if you have a group or 2 or 3, then definitely go in the DZ as soon as you hit level 7. In order to get the gear the fastest, and what I experienced and everybody that I played with, you know, we talked about this, and it seemed that having the white rogue status or initiating rogue is how we got the best gear out of everything that the beta offered. Because either you initiate it with the touchpad or you lockpick a box, and that would flag you white rogue. And then while doing that, you continue to go to every single landmark, and at every landmark there's at least one box that you can continue to lockpick, and then there's some landmarks that will have 2 boxes. And out of those boxes and doing this is where we found the best weapons that we could, you know, possibly get, and the best gear. And keep in mind that as you're going along white roguing, and every box does extend your white rogue status, but in turn it also increases the percentage in which it takes for you to unlock the white door, aka the Den of Thieves. And once you enter the Den of Thieves, then that status is removed, and also I think you get some special ammo in there. And there's some guy standing in the corner that looks very sketchy. I think he's a drug dealer, because it does say morphine. When you walk up to him, it'll say like 0 or 5 morphine, so whatever that is. But yeah, anyways, and continue to do this. Just don't, you know, lockpick and proceed to do it once or twice and then wait for your timer to go off and then do it again. No, keep the white rogue status. Because once you get to that 100% and those white doors appear, there'll be 3 and 3 different locations that you know while going to each additional landmark and going through this process, if encountering other groups or other agents that more or less try to kill you or follow you down, or pretty much the same police from Division 1 coming to Division 2, at least you have landmarks and markers more or less away and points to run to. Though you can highlight one and use your Garmin to guide you there, or you can just generally run that direction, and along the way do the same. You can turn around and fight those those agents that are after you. But if no one's after you, then the sky's the limit. It's just like a rinse and repeat kind of thing, and you will always stay at that 100%. And if push comes to shove, you can enter in the Den of Thieves, take off your White Rogue status, and let all the DZ police go back to what they were doing, and then rinse and repeat thereafter. So as it sits right now and the way it stands with the beta, that will be the fastest and best way to not only rank up, but to get your hands on the best weapons and the best gear. Other than that, there is one last thing that I must caution you about. It's something to be mindful of and be aware of and be afraid of when it comes to the Dark Zone. And no, it is not more or less other agents, but this in particular.
He keeps kicking me in the deck. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the deck?
Yes, that is one bad chick, let me tell you. Because if you get hit with that stun baton, you're going to be stunned for days. And with the NPCs hitting hard and, only a level 7, yes, you're going to be taken down very quickly. So be warned and be prepared. That crazy baton bitch is out for everyone. She will get you. And sometimes it's not just one, it'll be 2 or 3. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you all tuning in. For those that, like I said, was unable to play the private beta, maybe after this it'll give you a leg up and give you an idea, so that way you can hit the ground running and basically get the most out of this open beta. But I'm not trying to deter anyone from exploring or going to every little detail of the PvE side. It's just if you want to get your hands on every piece of gear and every gun that the game offers more or less in this beta, then my methods are the best approach in doing so. But you have the 1st to the 4th, so who knows. But just know that the longer that you wait in order to get to the DZ, to get that better gear and to get those better weapons, that gives everyone else more time and opportunity to get exactly what they're looking for as far as build wise and weapon wise, so that when you do decide to go in there, it's not going to be as easy as it would have been if you had done it earlier. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate all the love and support, and we are definitely on our way to hitting a 3K before the official game and the full game launches here next month. So ground and pound that like and subscribe button, tell your friends, share the video. We'll see you guys later.